Good day, my friend. Good day. Today I want to, if I could, in this thing that we do, present to you a couple of ideas, a couple of thoughts, a couple of observations, which I think are very important. Think of this as a sermon. Think of this as my homily. Think of this as my philosophy. YouTube and social media are in love with people giving you tips. A lot of people don't have, I think, parents or relatives or leaders or spiritual priests, rabbis, whatever, to say, here is what you need to know. This is your philosophy. And that's the notion of today. This is defining your philosophy. And your philosophy, I think, is critical because it points to a lot of other things. And the first philosophy I want to discuss is something which I'm seeing called courtesy. Let me tell you a couple of things that happened. Yesterday, or the day before, I was walking, and a woman, we were just crossing the street, just bumped into me. It was no big deal. She just bumped into me. And she sounded kind of foreign, which in New York is no big deal. And she said, it was so interesting, I'm sorry. I said, that's quite all right. That's been sticking with me. Why was she so afraid? Maybe because people overreact today. Maybe because there's no courtesy. Yesterday, we had something which is very interesting. As you know, this is a daily program which I provide to you, which is free. And I have for those who care to hear things that are, frankly, a little bit more, well, dare I say, piquant. I talk about other subjects. For example, the Chris Rock episode last night, or the special, which I saw. I've got a comment on that, which is completely different to what other people are talking about because they miss the point. Talk about Russell Brand. Talk about that. Talk about CPAC and Trump versus, DeSantis, and then the Democratic races, and then Biden. I talk about that differently. And the reason why I pick that is because it's a more, I don't want to say it's an adult crowd, but it's more of a targeted, lasered. But I talk about other things. And this one particular point about the Chris Rock episode, everybody's missing completely because they're looking at the immediate versus what does this mean? What's the big picture here? But anyway, that's not for here. So yesterday, as you know, I do this thing free. Every now and then, sometimes something will go wrong, and I don't understand why. And there will be a bump. Sometimes I'll hit something. And for some reason, like I told you, and you can look at it online, the Yeti microphone is so sensitive, this USB. It's a very good piece of equipment. But sometimes, the slightest movement and the sound goes off, you got to restart it. People will email me. As I'm talking to you, email. Who's looking at email? Email me. Your sound is off. It's like, I'm not reading email. Can you imagine that? Excuse me. Let me stop for a second. I'm going to read some email. No. So people, okay, fine. And you're looking, and if you notice the scrum, pay attention to the people as it starts off. It's very interesting. It's not, oh, by the way, you probably don't know this because I'm focusing on speaking to you. I'm not looking at, and I should be, a lot of other dials and devices, which of course gives you that usual podcast that looks like this. Okay, we got this on. All right, let me see. No, that's not it. Okay, let me. Have you ever seen those? I'm thinking to myself, this is horrible. So while I'm trying to focus on you, I'm not reading email. Just imagine that. Excuse me, I'm gonna read some email right now. You say, what do you? Anyway, and as it starts, people will just start piling on. And it's interesting to listen to the scrum. Listen to the tenor. It gets rude. Very interesting. So put that over there. You got the woman who I bumped into, or she bumped into me, and she thought I was going to yell at her or something because she's used to it. Put that over there. Yesterday's commentary. Yesterday. I got one for you too. I do a newsletter, which is free. It's no big deal. You sign up for it. How many? I bought a pair of Allbirds shoes. I get emails from them constantly. Emails, but I don't get upset. If you don't like it, you unsubscribe. If you do, you whatever. I've been getting stuff from AAA. I don't even have AAA. I don't even know why. It's no big deal. I get them in emails. I get emails. So what? Get rid of it or delete it. I don't get upset. It's an email. Delete it. Move on. Okay. So when I send, in fact, I ask you, it's a really good idea for you to sign up for my newsletters, which I think are just great because they're compilations of little composites and little snippets and admixtures and little pastiches of thought and the like. And if you'd like to sign up right there. This is my newsletter. So what happens is you send out the newsletter to people who sign up. And then they have a program that says, by the way, if you would like, we will resend it to people who have not opened it. It's a very simple program. It's par for the course. If you haven't opened it, we'll send it again. Big deal. I got one yesterday. Would you please stop doing this? Only send this one time in capital letters. Well, that won't be a problem anymore. Believe me, sir, you'll never have to see this again. But the point is, listen to what is happening, to the level of escalation. No courtesy. No. Now, let me tell you, go a step further. I go through YouTube kind of changes. I go through not changes, but these trends, if you will. And one of the trends which I've noticed, which is very interesting, is this thing called meltdowns. One's Karens in the wild, and there's one about cops. I was amazed by watching, seriously amazed at how incredible canines were. Canines going after people and the police. And then they have these cop channels. And invariably, you'll see this. Person's at a bar. For whatever reason, the person is asked to leave. You are not allowed to leave. Go. Now, the rules say, and there may be some exception to it, which you'll never get at the street level, but the rules say that you are a licensee at a place. You have been granted a license. You don't have a right to be there. We get into sometimes invitee versus licensee. Once your license is revoked, once your permission has been revoked, for whatever it's worth, you must leave. If you don't, you are trespassing. That's it. That's the law. It may seem unfair to you. They may ask you to leave versus people in your group. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You can beat the rap, but you can't beat the ride. You have to leave. And then we have airlines. This is the most incredible too, where for some reason, and on a couple of occasions, we don't know why people were asked, but somebody will say, sir, we are going to ask you to deplane. That's why, if you ever watch this, do not pitch a fit on a plane. They will turn the plane around. They will first deplane. I love this expression. They will get everybody off. Then they will have the police come in and physically remove you if need be. Now, all of this is unnecessary. All of this is unnecessary. And all you have to do is say, all right. Now, if you did this, I guarantee you, everybody wants to take off. When you get on a plane, please be nice to these people. Be nice. If there's anybody here who is a plane attendant or a flight attendant, or used to be called stewardesses, they will vouch for this. Be nice to them. They'll do wonders for you. You might get an upgrade. You might get a whatever. Just be nice to them. Be nice and be courteous because you're civilized. You're an adult. You have class. You're a classy person. That's right. I'm using these terms. Classy. You have manners. You're well behaved. Dress accordingly. Don't take your shoes off. Don't do anybody who walks barefoot on a plane. I don't even know what to tell you about that. But then, because of recording, people will see this. I'm not leaving. Who are you? And then, of course, you can be called either a racist, a misogynist, or this or whatever. And you're yelling. And you're not going, nobody's going to say, oh, you know what? I never thought about that. Here, have a seat. Now you're screaming and yelling, and now you're putting the entire flight in danger. I don't understand this. Now, you would think that people have seen this before. You would think that they, like I, have enjoyed watching these. Mrs. L cannot watch these. She gets very upset. I love them because I'm learning. And I'm asking myself, do social media increase the frequency of this? Do social media, because it's a collective noun, do social media exaggerate? Has it always been like this and we're just recording it more? I have a suspicion it is being done more, that more people are acting like this because of social media. And this immediate sense of jumping right into it. People you don't even know. Now, I used to think that sometimes social media increases trolling because you don't see people. This is upfront and personal. So we are seeing this, and now everybody, and it's funny, a lot of the police officers said, we don't like these vest cameras and the like. That's going to impede us. I think it saved them. I think it's been wonderful. It makes the police, there's nothing better than, now, ma'am, I've told you. I've told you now. It's perfect. It makes because the officer has been in court and knows what's happening. I've got this on camera. The only problem is that sometimes people, younger in particular, don't enunciate very well. There was one, which I love, where they brought the canine unit, and the canine unit is supposed to say, all right, if you're listening to me. Now, he's yelling. He's in a neighborhood. He doesn't know where the bad guy is. If you're listening to me, they don't even have a bullhorn. They're yelling. Come out now because we're going to release the dog and you're going to get bitten by this dog. You will be bitten. The dog will bite you. So please, now that's the theory behind it. What comes out is, coming to the sheriff's department, they're going to bite. Now, I don't know what that means. Maybe that will lure the person up because the person will say, I'm sorry, what was that again? And then, you find him. So I'm watching this. And people are running from the police for things that are not even important. Why? Your tag's expired. Here's a warning. Thank you, officer. Thank you, sir. You can't believe that women, they remind me of like my mother's age or in their 70s, who go, I'm not going with you, and I'm not getting out of the car. I'm thinking, what is happening? And the first is, ma'am, and this is my favorite, sign the ticket. It merely means you received it. If you don't sign the ticket, you have to be taken into custody and you have to post a bond. It doesn't mean you admit to anything. It's not a plea of guilty. It just means I received this. That's all it means. And you can see these people, ma'am, I don't want to stop you. You're 75 years old. I'm stopping you. Why'd you stop me? Ma'am, I did. It's just a warning. I'm not going to sign this. Now look, get your hands off me. And then Grandma will take off. This is what I've been watching. What are you doing? So in pursuit, they come in. She won't get out. One time they had to break the window, drag her out of a car, and they tased her. Now, I don't know what the statistics are. If this happens all the time, if it always was, if we could go back and if there were police from the 50s and 60s where they say, oh, yeah, we always had that. I don't think so. There's this sense of, I don't need to follow you. Or people will read these, and I love these, the Constitutionalists. There is no law in the United States that requires me, and he's like constitutionalists, that the Constitution is, or that the government is basically an illegal corporation. That is, it's like, what are you doing? Now you're doing this? You think this young man is going to say, oh, well, you didn't tell me that. Sorry, yeah, listen, we got to let him go. Why? Well, see, the United States was based on a compact, or based upon an illegal premise, where it's an unconstitutional delegation because there never was a peace treaty signed between. What? I don't have to have, they have carry permits. I don't have to have I've got a constitutional right to carry. No, you don't. Yes, I do. Okay. Tell the judge, you can beat the rap, but you can't beat the right. We had a guy one time, I'll never forget this. This was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. There was in many jurisdictions, they have the retired judge program. These are judges who retire, and then they come back and make a few bucks and say, look, if ever you have like a big docket, I'll come in, I'll take your arraignment, do simple stuff, arraignment docket, things like that. Set a court date, take a plea, whatever it is. And I'll never forget this one retired judge came in. He had like a purple robe. There's always one of these. Remember, Rehnquist had the Pirates of Penzance stripes, and you can decorate a little bit. Judge Jack Weinstein never even wore a robe. Used to sit at a table. Never was on the bench. It was weird. This is the federal court. He was like 150 years old. He died. Very famous. So the judge came in and said, now listen, don't worry, Judge. You're from Volusia County. No problem. I'm the head of the division here. I heard somebody say this. Don't worry. It's a very simple case. We're just setting court dates, arraignments, nothing. We'll watch your back. Okay, fine. Now we see this guy. He looks like a Seminole. He had the very colorful jackets. He's holding his hat. He's got a Seminole in Florida, Seminole Indians. He's got the hat with a very colorful jacket. And he's charged with something like trapping or shooting or killing. I don't know what it was. A cougar or a Florida panther or something. It was an endangered species, but it wasn't at the federal level. It was really no big deal. He walks in, this fellow, and remember, this judge is just saying, I'm just here, I'm retired, I'm in this county, in this circuit, just helping out. No big deal. Here comes this, I don't know if he was a chief or whatever he was. And he tells the judge, my people, my country, my nation never signed a peace treaty with you. I swear, I'm not kidding. Never signed a peace treaty with you. We are still at war. And if I kill you or something like that, there's nothing you can do to me because we're technically still at war. I don't recognize your laws. I don't recognize any kind of the panther was here first. We were here before. And when he said kill, that was it. All of a sudden, so what we do, whoa. Hold it. And of course, we're always in the middle, and these cops are surrounding us. I was like, wait a minute. Appoint the public defender, get him out of here. And they said, what are you doing? What are you doing? You say kill in a courtroom? You see all those people there? They've got guns. What are you doing? We'll set it for a hearing. We'll do a motion to dismiss, whatever. But you're not going to bring... Don't. And anyway. But there are these people out there who think, I don't have to follow you. I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to... No. I don't have to pull over. I can outrun you. I don't recognize your authority. I don't honor your authority. I don't know who you are. I can do whatever I want. Either because of some self-imposed or interpreted constitutional right to do whatever, or I don't need to show you any courtesy whatsoever. I'm going to be rude. I'm going to write emails in capital letters. I'm going to make a stink. I don't know proportion. Everything is 11. I don't know. I don't recognize this. I don't understand this. And I don't know what that is. It's a collective. It's a lot of things. There's something about days when people forget being in Florida. Not Florida, Florida. We used to say things like yes, ma'am, and no, sir, and it made things better. It made you feel better when you showed courtesy. It made you feel better. Not the person you were being courteous to, but it made you feel better. Kids don't understand this. People don't make eye contact. There's this, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And I'm seeing this. I don't get it. I'm seeing, and I talk about this in my commentary on Chris Rock, I, by virtue of this wonderful generation that I was from, remember Richard Pryor, George Carlin, remember growing as a kid, Mort Saul, Dick Gregory. These were people, and Bill Hicks, who's always forgotten, who really made some incredibly powerful statements made in the midst of their routine. You have people like Russell Brand now who is making their routine. Sometimes people will say, you know what, this comedy thing is not going. I'm going to go straight to the advocacy, which is fine. It's a free country. But people like Mort Saul and Dick Gregory and Carlin, the main medium was spoken word, which I hate. I think it's kind of presumed spoken word versus written word versus sung word. I think that's a song. I think we know what this means. Why do they call it spoken word? Performance art, translation usually boring. But they were a different story. It was a different story then. And now we're seeing people. And what I'm also seeing, which is something that I cannot understand, it is an excessive amount of profanity. And one of the things which is so important, remember, when you're cooking, you can't unsalt something. Try a little bit. Taste it. Don't go like that. Don't dump it in. If you do, you risk ruining it. Because if a little is good, a lot is not better. We have somehow lost that ability. I don't understand why that is. I do not understand this. Let me stop you right now for just 1 second and remind you of our great sponsor, our friends at MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. And right now, you got to see the MyPillow 2.0. Look at this temper adjusting. Have you seen this? His temperature? It's incredible. As you would say, amazing. You would probably say you are amazed by it. You are flabbergasted, gobsmacked, absolutely stultified. You are paralyzed by the amount of amazement that you feel for this, which is your normal excessive means of description. But there it is. It is a wonderful, wonderful product. And it's a wonderful, made here in the USA, guaranteed. And if you go to MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. I know it's tautological, but deal with it. 800-645-4965. Please, if you're listening on a cell phone or whatever, please go back later and review this because it is not available to be seen. You got to hit that more button, which is extremely critical and the like. All right? You got that? Good. Also, our dear friends at My Patriot Supply. Oh, people are saying, this makes a lot of sense to me. This is a no-brainer. Preparewithlionel.com. Make a note of this. Preparewithlionel.com. This is emergency food. Now, I don't know about you, but there's no, like for example, emergency cologne doesn't really make any sense. Emergency clothespins. No. But emergency food? Food is vital. Emergency. I think that's going to get my attention, which most people think. Go to preparewithlionel.com and you can save $250 on a 3-month emergency food kit. That's 90 days per person. And we're not talking a little thing. We're talking about tubs. These are 120 pounds with a 25-year shelf life. Packed like you cannot believe. This looks like a combination of MREs and NASA combined. It is the best on the market today. Preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. Do the right thing for you. Now, I can't tell you enough how you have no, I wish I could tell you what I see. Have you ever done something where you have been somewhere and somebody has told you, listen, the boss or somebody that you work with, they really don't like you. Now you want to stop and say, why would you tell me that? Why would you tell me that? Have you thought this through? You know this is going to catch. You know this is going to cause problems. But you can't say that. But you got to ask somebody, why did you ever do it? Have you ever worked with a boss? Now I'm going to say something that people in the entertainment, radio, TV business will know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the boss, the person who wants to change you. I've seen this a million times. They want to change you. They don't like what you're doing. They don't either like your independence, your popularity, or something. They don't like it. They're not, I don't know what the word is. They just don't dig what you're doing or saying, or I don't know what it is. And they want to change you. They want to change, and you see this. And you're saying you're killing the spirit of performance because you can't do this yourself. And maybe you think your job is to always change something. You probably don't know this. I hope you never run into it. But it's people who come into something and they say, I want to put my own fingerprint on this, my label, my flavor. I want to change something. I want to fix it. You may never remember this, but there was a thing called New Coke. And why somebody decided to change Coke, I have no idea. Then there was Pepsi Clear. I don't know what that was about. Why people want to come in and change something, I have sometimes improve it is one thing, but to change it is another. And what does it mean? It means that there is this inability yet again, to deal with the reality of what's happening. And I think it goes back to the fact that we don't have a philosophy. Nobody sits down and says, what am I trying to accomplish? Whether it's you as a parent or as a neighbor, as a boss, as an employee, as an agent, it's something. And when I see the amount of recalcitrance, the amount of rudeness, and I want to say one more thing to you, which is the most interesting. One of the greatest places in the world to be, if you really want to see something, is in any kind of a salon, hair, beauty, whatever you want to call it. Something happens to people when they sit in a chair and they look forward and they have the person doing their hair or whatever it is. And they start talking. They start talking in a way that is, they act as though no one can hear them. I don't know if you've ever seen this. They say things that are loud, and I think that's probably always there. Then there are people who use the phone, and they will talk on the phone. Now, for some reason, we used to do this. There were some radiation concerns, and then right around the Kardashians, people started doing like this. Have you noticed this? This is a mouse, of course, but they started talking, yeah. So anyway, I told Marlene, listen, if you don't get the lab results back, you could very well have a very serious disease. So she, of course, and you want to say, excuse me, do you see me here? Yeah. You know I can hear you, right? Yeah. You know I don't want to hear. I mean, there's no, and you've seen this, you've seen it a million times. What is their philosophy? How does that work? I don't understand this. I don't understand. First of all, why there's no sense of being secret, being, quiet. And why are people doing this? And then I've got to tell you this much. This is the part, and I will remind you of this. This was all this, and I tell people this, especially many people who are themselves quoting scripture, which is a wonderful thing. Sometimes you get some very, very interesting things. This is Proverbs 27:2. Let another praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger, and not your own lips. Let another praise you, not your own mouth. Do not praise yourself. Facebook is the most. I saw something which I wanted to share with you, and I couldn't, which I thought was the most incredible thing it was the longest. It was the longest description to get to a self-praise I've ever seen. It works like this. Guy takes a picture. He's out with his wife. Hey, I'm here. I'm in some foreign land. Meaning, I'm not at home. I'm not at home. Nobody's at home. There's nobody home. I'm here. Okay. And I always like to write, how long will you be gone? Is there anybody at home? And I write this. I write this on Facebook. And Facebook I have to do is kind of it's like mandatory. Because every now and then you'll find like, oh, somebody died. Oh, that's nice. Or, hey, there's somebody I never knew. That's nice. Do you know so-and-so? It's like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like, that's a cult. Do you know so-and-so? I guess. You've had 12 people look at you. Look at what? It's very odd. Anyway, so this fellow writes, he's in some foreign land. And he said, yes, I was wearing this shirt, this polo shirt. And there's a school emblem on it. And somebody says, what is that? And he's writing this. What is this? Well, this is a school, and this is the emblem or the mascot of the school. And this is the school that gave me the honorary degree in, and he goes into this. The honorary degree, and I'm thinking, you're going to hurt yourself. He went in from this picture to patting himself on the back because I got the honorary degree, and that's why I'm wearing this coat, because I got an honorary degree. Here's another one. Well, I'm moving into my new place. Here are my 1,100 books. This is where I live. This is where I live. What are you doing? This is where I live. See, I'm moving, and see, this is my new place. This is my new place. Okay. It's National Sons Day. Have you seen a picture of my son? Here's my child. What are you doing? Don't do that. No. This is mine. This is mine. I own this child. It's mine. I'm bragging. Don't do this. Don't do this. When I see people put their children on national TV and they have been involved in some kind of something at a school board or they've protested, and I'm thinking, you're putting your child's face and picture and likeness on what is your philosophy? What is your philosophy? What happened to us? Now you might say, and this is, and I keep this option open. It might be that we've always been like this, that this is nothing new, that I'm just, maybe it's more, I don't know, it's more available for inspection by virtue of the fact that we have social media. Maybe that's it. Maybe we've always been there. But I don't think so. I don't think so. A friend of mine had a picture of his mother. And I remember her when we were kids. And she was a mom. Remember what a mom looked like? This is in the 60s. This was a mom. It was, hello, Mrs. So-and-so. And I realized they must have been like 30 years old or younger. But they looked older. They seemed more mature. They were moms. And one mom was everybody's mom. You know that? Remember that? Just say one mom kind of look out for the other one. And they drove, like a station wagon with a wood on the side and a luggage rack. There was a mom, and you all jumped into the station wagon, very unsafe, facing the wrong way, and chrome and no seat belts. It was wonderful, 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 wonderful. So, as we're watching this, and as I'm paying attention to this, I realize, whatever happened to these? Now, today's mother on social media, oh my God, this one's dancing. This one wants to be a beauty queen or something. I'm using terms that make no sense. A beauty queen, what does that mean? This one's dancing in the kitchen. How about this one? Hey, we're on vacation. You're drinking. Yeah, we're drinking. See? Have a safe trip. Why are you showing people? That's your 12th picture of your drinking. Why are you doing that? You're drinking a lot, aren't you? Yeah. You sure about this? You sure about this? Well, nobody will see it. No, everybody sees it. No, it's just Facebook. Those are my friends. No, that's just an expression. Why are you showing everybody how much you're drinking? Why are you doing this? If you ever get pulled over for something, and we're in I can see it right now. Because friends of mine who are in the family law area, divorce and all this stuff, the first thing they do is say, shut your social media down. I can't do that. No, you don't understand. Close it down. I can't. No, do it. Okay, there it is. A storyline. How about this one day? Have a seat. Your name is this Jerome Merriweather. Thank you, Mr. Merriweather. Have a seat. You're looking for the position of Region 4 auditor for the yes. By the way, can I ask you a question? Yeah, this may be off the record, but your name is Jerome Merriweather, and you're from Augusta, Georgia, right? Yeah. Is this you here in the bathtub? This was taken by your parent. You've got. Is this you? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Now, does that matter? Maybe not. Jerome, is this you in college right here? Yeah, you've got you're doing the funnel. You have like a keg, and you're upside down, and there's a funnel in your mouth. Is this you? Is this you? And you were in Auburn University. Is that you, Jerome? This must have been about 10, 15 years ago. Is that you, Jerome? Yeah. Okay. Jerome, is this you in the? Well, I didn't take that picture. No, that was somebody else. Well, see, Jerome, we have facial recognition software. We can find everything. We do a lot of drinking. You did a lot of drinking when you were young, didn't you? Yeah. Well, this is a pretty tough position. You realize that, right? Charge of a lot of money. A lot of money. We have insurance underwriters and make sure you don't make off with the money and make sure you're of good sound character. And, we just did this review, which we do for everybody. And it came back, and of course, we have social credit scores today, and this is not good. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, but I didn't take that picture. Yeah, but that was my mother. My mother took that. Yeah, but you don't understand. Now, do you think that's far-fetched? It's here. It's here. It's happening now. Social credit scores, not by name, but yeah. Absolutely. Here is a great story I just read. Listen to this headline. This is a great headline. Listen to this headline. This was from New Scientist. Microsoft uses ChatGPT AI to control flying drones and robots. Hang on a minute. Wait. Listen to this one. It says, yes. Microsoft has used ChatGPT to create code for robotic arms and quadcopter drones from simple text commands given by humans, but experts warn that putting AI in control of such devices is a risky path. Ask anybody that you know about ChatGPT, and they have not the slightest idea of what you're talking about. None. Okay. All right. When singularity hits, and it's going to be like that. And I'm just telling you right now, one day ChatGPT is everywhere. It's just everywhere. Oh, yeah. Monday. Yeah, I heard about that. Tuesday. Yeah, I remember that. Wednesday, it's here. Everywhere. What? It's here. Legislation, books, writing, comedy. Who gets to write it? So what are people talking about today? Well, today they're talking about Chris Rock. They might be talking about sports. They might be talking about, what are the big headlines that people are talking about? Just other things that are, sports and the Royals. That's always interesting. I did a great piece on the Royals because you have never, and I do this on my private channel, you have no idea. Believe me when I tell you this. You're missing the greatest story because nobody's explained it to you, and you won't sit still long enough to have somebody explain to you why this is a great story. For no other reason than it just being a great, great story. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for all these things. And there's also a reason for EMP shield, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. EMP, electromagnetic pulse. Let me just make this very, very simple for you. And here is the connection. He's one of our great sponsors. EMP Attacks. If you go through history, if you look at the notion of what it is, an electromagnetic pulse, a coronal type of Carrington event, some discharge, some Carrington, it is the most incredibly frightening, mesmerizing event that you can imagine. And I submit to you that it would behoove you greatly to investigate this thoroughly. And EMP Shield is our link, is our sponsor. This is an American-made, an American-owned, certified military. Just read this. Don't take my word for it. Just go use this link. Read the FAQs, and your jaw will drop. EMP Shield, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And one more thing, you know what I'm going to talk about. That's right. How's your health? Any cold and flu? How are you feeling? You don't have to have a cold or a flu not to be too great. That's why Z-Stack makes so much sense. Again, don't take my word for it. I'm not a physician. I'm not. But I know a lot about this. I'm just telling you, I'm no expert. But you look at this link right now and just Z-Stack for you or your kids, and it's so perfect. This wonderful elixir, this beautiful compound, this admixture of vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D, which is so beautiful. Oh my God, it's a hormone. Vitamin D is just. And quercetin, flavonoids. This is what plants, and this is the reason why vegetables and fruits, this is why they tell you to eat them, and you don't. It's funny, whenever you mention anything about instant experts, just say, hey, anybody know about vitamin D? Now, you got to make sure you got to have your K and your D. You see, your K. You see, a lot of people don't realize this, but resveratrol, expert, just like during the OJ case, when everybody was an expert in blood splatter overnight. People know vitamins. They know health. They don't ever do it. They're all overweight. Have you noticed this? The people who know the most about nutrition are in the worst shape. But listen, it's a free country. What are you going to do? So Z-Stack, there is our link. Just read this. Dude, it's the best thing there. One a day. That's it. I'm done. Terrific. Because you're not eating right. Don't fight it anymore. Just admit it. You're not eating right. You never have. But I'm not going to give you a hard time about this. Let me go back to where I started from. What is your philosophy? I believe one day we're going to need charm schools. We're going to need etiquette schools. We're going to need people to explain things. Because I don't think people realize a couple of rules. Number one is simply this. You will not talk a policeman out of anything. You might catch a break if he likes you, if you're respectful, if you're different than the usual people that he has to deal with. If you do things just yes sir, no sir, whatever it is. The old hands on the wheel, don't do it. Don't question, why'd you stop me? Also, if a police officer ever asks you, do you know why I stopped you? No. Because if he doesn't have a reason, you're going to give him one, aren't you? Because I was speeding. There you go. He even admitted it. Okay. They took care of that. So I don't know, officer. I was abiding by all the rules as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, that's it. That's as aggressive as you're going to be. Somebody might say, you know what, I'm going to give you a break. I'm going to give you this. This has no points. I'm going to give you just be careful. Thank you very much. But no, that's not what people do. Why do you stop me? Who do you think you are? You didn't stop those people. And then all of a sudden, this innocuous stop turns into you're getting arrested. Obstructing or opposing a police officer, depending upon what it is. There's a big debate. Can you order me out of the car? Can you order me out of the car? What if I roll the windows up and lock the door? Is the cop going to say, okay, well, he's got me there. Let's get the search warrant. No, they're going to break the window. They're going to take you out. And that's it. And they're going to have you fighting. And the judge is going to be there like this. Uh-huh. He's going to be looking at you like, uh-huh. This is you? Yeah. Why do people do that? Every night there should be these commercials or classes that maybe these kids should go to. And you can say, and by the way, you're not going to meet. Some of these cops are nasty. True. Some are rude. Some have big authority issues. It's the way it is. You want to fight? You want to go ahead? Go ahead. If you're at a club, if you're on a plane, if you're in a restaurant, and somebody says, leave, you have to leave. Get your stuff and go. Somebody's filming it. Don't accuse anybody of anything. Just get up and leave. Because it takes this much change to go from being upset to disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct, which are really very loosey-goosey how you, depending upon your town, where you live, and your state. I don't understand this. And on planes, I do not understand this. I do not understand. And people with their phones, it just never ceases to amaze me. What is happening? I don't understand this. And again, I'm trying to figure out, my working hypothesis is that social media provide more of an impetus or a kind of an accelerant for this. I guess I can't figure this out one way or another. It's the most bizarre thing I have ever seen in my life. And one more thing, and this is the most important. I never knew the narcissistic the narcissistic tendencies that so many people have about being perceived as beautiful or whatever it is. I like people who are talented. Show me anybody who says, I'm playing the drums. Very good. That's not narcissistic. That's performance. I'm going to sing. Very good. I'm going to do a bench press. That's good. You're doing something. Good. But this, don't get it. I don't. And also dancing, I don't understand this. Bragging, I don't understand this. Perform. There's something better than this. Some of these cooking shows are fantastic. Have you ever seen the Italian women, the nonnas? Sicilian, we always call it nonna, but it's nonna, N-O-N-N-A. Nonna's making spaghetti, and then they have the, and she's making this thing, and my grandmother, my aunts used to do this thing. They'd always point to like their finger, like, what is this? And they would go like this. How much, I go, I don't know what this is. What is this? And they would always pinch something, but they would make like these wonderful. I could watch, almost makes me cry. It reminds me of my aunts and my grandmother it's wonderful. That's talent. These women. An 80-year-old woman who's making food, this is the greatest thing in the world. This is the height of human perfection, especially when they get to be older and they're wise and they just want to, they're not trying to impress you. They're just saying, I can do something and maybe you can learn from me there. It's so wonderful to see how people do this. And young people who are learning how to cook and how they can do this stuff. But then you see others who are trying to say, yeah, I'm theoretically chopping the onion, but I'm showing you how sexy I am. Stop it. Stop it. There is one of, I love to watch. Have you watched these Korean bakeries where they're, oh my God, it's surgical. It's beautiful. In any event, that's my lecture for today. That is my lecture for today. Now, do me a favor, in addition to the foregoing, please follow Mrs. L on Twitter at this address. She is incredible. She's got, you should see the great radio she is doing. You cannot believe the talent of this woman. I'm not saying it just because I love her and she's my wife, but it's true. It's absolutely true. She is better than anything. And look at this. Watch this YouTube channel. Please make sure you click right here and you will immediately, you will subscribe. And if you like this, please like the video, please subscribe and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. All right, my friends, have a great and a glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. Remember, be respectful, be courteous, because your life will be better. It makes your existence happier. Not others, though they will benefit, but it makes you as well. Have a great day. See you tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.